Serafina and I were at a entrepreneurial book club where Stephanie never read the right book, and
Stephanie was terrible at this book club.
I really sucked at book club.
I did
Fabulous. What?
I just had a visual. I just had a
It was a
visual.
lot.
I had a visual.
He's proud of it.
Hold on, let me turn it.
I have no idea where my phone is. Here I am digging through my purse as we're about to start the show. I've got Cyndy Jones with me next door. And how are you today?
I am doing well and honored to be here. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for joining us. We had a little snafu the last time that you were supposed to be on the show with me.
Yes. Someone wasn't feeling well.
It happens. I had a rough night last night because I couldn't sleep. I was excited to talk to you.
Oh.
It was Super Bowl.
That
house,
was the excitement.
yeah, well, I had a house full of boys and all the teenagers. My husband had like a conveyor belt of food going. I'm like, who are you feeding?
Enjoy it.
You know what?
Last long.
It drove me crazy for many, many years. But now that I've only got one left at home, it's like we're nearing that space.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, right.
And you walk in this morning with a bag of cookies. And I laughed because my kids know when I'm upset or stressed out or something's going on because I bake.
Great therapy, isn't it?
Honestly,
Especially when you bake bread and you can just get it out in the hands.
is that what it is? Is that where the scones came from? Is that where?
Exactly.
I feel like every single time I talk to Cyndy, she's like, let me cook for you. Let me get a coffee. What do you want? How do I feed you? What's happening? And I feel like it's one of those things that, I don't know, it's a mom thing or a stress thing, but it's a place where you can just shut your brain off a little bit and be in that kitchen.
And food brings joy.
Yeah.
Which is why in our foundation, Heroes in Transition, every time we have an activity in our programs, it's always with a meal.
Oh, I love that. I mean, obviously we like to eat. What's up, Ashley? Thanks for joining us on the show this morning. Cyndy Jones, a woman of so many things. Mercy Otis, Woman of the Year. Mashpee, Outgoing Citizen of the Year. You do a lot of things.
I think I received these awards because I represent Heroes in Transition.
But it's something that you started.
Absolutely.
And it was from a place of stress. It was a place of grief. It was a place of what do I do?
It for me, it became very easy as to what to do.
Yeah.
Because Eric, who we lost in Afghanistan, when his body came home at Dover on the tarmac, that's when it hit me, and I grabbed my husband's hand and said, we're going to continue Eric's mission. Eric was a helicopter pilot that protected the troops. He loved being a Marine. He loved being with his friends, his brothers and sisters. So when he passed, it became very easy for us to continue his legacy by helping the brothers and sisters that come back.
There's something to be said for anybody that's done any military service. And I can tell you it's one of those things that you'll never forget. The people that you served with, the communication, that feeling. And I love that you continued that in his legacy. And as many times as you can read about Cyndy's work, Heroes in Transition, it's nothing like having the conversation with you and hearing it firsthand, no matter how many times I've heard it.
And because you're connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you understand the pain and the joys and the pain, but there's a special camaraderie among military people that's a lot of times civilians just don't understand.
No.
You have your own.
I know my daughter, I've got mine. And then my daughter just went up to MEPS. And I'm like, this was right? Are we doing this? She did ASVAB and she did all this stuff and she's considering reserves. So I'm like, okay. But even still, reserves get called, baby girl. And so that stressed me out a little bit. Yes. I gotta tell you, it was not something I expected from that daughter.
No, I didn't expect it. Well, Eric, at the age of between 4 and 5, said that he was going to be a Marine. It was like, right?
Okay.
And because he, at 10, he wanted to fly, and that I accepted because people like, you have a desire to be a pilot. But
I did.
When he went to when he went to Northeastern, and I was told that he was going to sign up for Marine, I went, no.
You're like, what?
No, he wasn't that type of person. He was very mild and loving and a peacemaker.
Yeah.
And he was exactly what Marine is.
Yeah.
And so when you give, you sign up, and you sign that line, and you become military, you become the government. And I admire anybody who does that.
Many veterans
goes
need
out to
help.
you
You
all.
are an angel in their eyes, says Ashley. Good morning, Lauren. Thanks for joining us on the show. We've got Cyndy Jones, and we're here live at Mashpee TV. Yeah, that moment of after I did all my classes and paperwork, and all right, I want to fly planes. This is literally what I did. I was like, I want to go fly planes. Rutgers school is 3 years. What do you mean 3 years? You got to wait 3 years? So I'm going to sit and rot and wait before I get to even go to my schooling? What's faster? So I ended up in communications, and here I am. Right? Exactly. Still utilizing the things that I did when I was in the military. But it wasn't without, suffering some pain, but we're here.
There's a wonderful, wonderful book by James Hillman called The Soul's Code. And in that book, it's metaphysics. And in that book, he says that whatever happens to you as a child and growing up prepares you for what you need to do in life.
It's true.
And you just gave a perfect example.
Yeah, it really is.
Here you are.
It is so true.
Yeah.
It is. And I told my parents that I was going to be on the radio when I was 9, and they laughed at me. So, it's the same situation. Talk to me a little bit about Heroes in Transition. You guys have grown.
We have.
Like, wow, have you grown?
It's been 15 years, and it grew slowly.
Yeah.
We started with service dogs, but service dogs didn't provide what I really wanted, was to bring a family together. We had service dogs. Veterans would take their dogs and would get them out of the house, but it didn't bring them back into the fold. And so we then went to horses.
Yeah.
Horse equine therapy is magical.
It is.
And it brought families together. So there was the beginning of it. The families started coming together because the children, when a father or mother came back from a deployment or going to a deployment or being deployed, the children have a hard time. And they're living in a world with civilian kids, and their moms and dads are home, and the military child, mom and dad, one of them is gone. And so it's hard for them. So the horses brought everybody together. They brought other children together, other parents together, especially when they come back and when you come back from a deployment.
Yeah.
You've been gone for a year, you come back, and the family survived without you.
Well, they're functioning. You know what I mean? They've got a routine. They're busy, and now it's like, hey, everything's off.
Everything's off.
Yeah.
Where do I fit in?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard. So our equine program, which is called FIT, for families in transition, that's when our program really has an effect, because it brings mother, father, children together, and it relaxes them. And horses do that magic. And then it grew.
It's pretty incredible. If you've never been around a horse, it just, there's some sort of thing that they do.
Well, in order to be in the presence of a horse, you have to live in the now.
Yeah.
And you have to control yourself. You have to let go, because those ears go back when you're uptight.
Yeah.
And once you start relaxing, those ears magically come forward and they accept you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we grew from there, but then Nicole Spencer came on board and just helped me write thank you notes, and then it just exploded. And being a runner that she is, brought in our most powerful fundraisers, Ruck for Hit, which is coming up.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This will be year 4 for me doing Ruck for Hit.
God bless you.
It is. I was like 1 year, and I'm never doing this again. And here I am, year 4, and I'm like, I can't not. Why do I do this? And my husband says every year, why do you do this? I was like, because I can't not. We have built a little family inside of that damn van.
Oh, explain to our viewers
This is a race like none other. You have runners that are running 24 hours a day. And we start, this year we're changing the race up a little bit, but we have started from Bourne all the way to Provincetown and back. And there are skill building things in between. And you live in this van, you don't stop driving. So someone's going to stay awake the whole time. Thank you, Craig. Because I do take naps right around 4 a.m. It always gets me. I'm like, you got to drive. I can't open my eyes anymore. And then you tag team and you run every 3 miles. Each person is running an individual marathon. And you're eating in there, you're living in there. We're finding bathrooms for them on the side of the road somewhere. It's just like you have to function and focus as you would a horse, as you would in that space. We're all in this together. We got to live through this
for a good 38 hours.
Yeah, it is
around the clock.
It is constant, and it is.
It's an achievement.
It's a bonding experience like no other. And the amount of teams. How many teams did it start with? One? It was one just group?
Well, the first team started at Ground Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Because Eric grew up in New York. And so that's where it all happened with 9/11. And they left from there. And then they came all the way through Connecticut, Rhode Island, and here. That was our very first one. And there were 2 teams. And then it's grown now. I mean, we have 300 runners this year.
Insane.
Yeah, amazing.
And it's a lot of people on the road. So I do want to remind you, when it is Ruck Weekend, and we will talk about this again, please be cognizant. Please be watching. These runners sometimes have been up for 2 days straight and they don't even know where they're coming or going. Mm-hmm. Just be careful and mindful of them on the road. That's all I ask. It's always a good time a year that we do this. This is still a little bit quiet and the weather is usually with us. I know. I said it.
Not necessarily.
Dang it. I said it.
One year we had a northeaster. It was rainy. It was horrible.
Like we're going to be fine.
No, it will be. So everybody can join at the start and at the finish line, which this year will be at the fairgrounds.
Yeah. And if you're looking to support Ruck for Hit and Heroes in Transition, you can buy pit stops where your logo is on something. You can go and help a runner. We have so many great physical therapists.
Yes.
I think this is my favorite thing where the runners are like, get me to the place where they rub my legs.
We're fortunate to have Alicia Mikowski head the team.
Amazing.
PT. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
And it's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Coffee stops, scone stops at your house, snack stops. Really, as many places, the amount of people that show up around the clock to make sure that they know that we're not alone, we're supported. What do you need? How do we help you?
And around the clock.
Yeah, yeah.
And this year, the first stop is my barn, is the pit stop.
I love it.
There were so many runners this year that we went to the Upper Regional High School.
Perfect.
And Chef Joe has taken on my recipe.
Oh, I love it.
All the students are making the scones this year because I cannot
You're like, I
make
can't keep up.
500
No.
scones in my 2 ovens.
Chef Joe is the best.
So
we adore him.
we're
His
honored.
students are great.
Oh, they're absolutely wonderful.
And their food is so good.
Every time I go there for a meeting, they put a dish of unbelievable pastries in front of me.
Right?
It's just unbelievable.
He never says no either. I was over there and he chefed me up something for Thanksgiving. I said, we're doing chef Thanksgivings from around the Cape. I said, can you make me up something from leftovers? And he goes, all right, we'll make a bread pudding out of leftover bread, whatever. And he just chefed it up, let me videotape it. He's like, all right, there you go. Have a good day. Here's your bread. It was awesome.
And it's wonderful. The students just love him, and the environment there is just so magical.
Yeah.
I think anytime you have food around, the environment relaxes and it brings people together.
100%. This is what we're seeing. We started the Mashpee Farmers Market this year. We're coming into year 2.
Yeah.
And we're involving the high school kids. I'm really excited about building this volunteer program.
It's wonderful.
You know, as well as anybody else, that we are nothing without our volunteers and the people that show up.
Unbelievable. That's how, it was all volunteers in the beginning, and we have so many volunteers, and we could not do our functions.
You could be the best director, you could be the best organizer, you could have the best ideas, but if you don't have people that help you get this done, It's not happening.
People who believe in what you do and they want to do something, and it's just it's altruistic. It comes from the heart.
Yeah.
And that's what I found about Heroes in Transition, because my husband and I retired here.
Yeah.
My mother's came in the 70s. I mean, the Cape. And Eric always came. We always came in the summertime, and the Cape was very much part of our family. But the Cape is a wonderful, wonderful place to start a foundation, because you have people who really care.
Yeah.
And I was just writing that to a friend the other day, that, living in New York, living near Manhattan, through that rat race and that anxiety and everything else, come to the Cape, and it's people.
Yeah.
It's humanity. The Cape to me is a community.
Yep.
It's a peninsula, but the Cape is a community, one big, beautiful community. So my husband and I are very fortunate to have started a foundation here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we started someplace else, if we started in New York, I don't think we would have the success.
Well, because we have that island people mentality. We're really there to support people. And I don't know what it is, but I came here, I was stationed at Otis, and I met my husband. And I was like, okay, 5-year plan, right?
Yeah, 5 years.
Falmouth born and raised. 25 later, I've not left. I have his bronchitis. We're here.
I love that.
and we raised our family here. So it was an absolute fabulous place to raise a family. And this community wholeheartedly embraced me in everything that I've ever done. And I'm so thankful to be here. And every day I'm blown away by the magic of the Cape. It's pretty incredible.
It's the people.
Yeah,
It's
of
the
course.
people. My heart goes out to the people.
So we've got the big Rock for Hit race coming up. And you've had some shifts in the dynamic over at Heroes in Transition. I mean, Nicole's leaving, right? She's moving on. It does happen. I mean, that's a lot of time to be at a space.
It's a long time, and she's done quite an amazing job.
And who's taking over?
Celine Gordon.
She's fabulous.
Absolutely wonderful. Very organized, very listens and just wants to please. And this means a lot to her as well. I found out when we started it, it was like when people wanted to come to help, everybody came for a reason to truly help. And those who really knew the reason and felt it stayed. So it's like Heroes became it's a family.
Yeah.
And people all started just volunteering to help us, because we could never have gotten off the ground without the volunteers. And then it's grown now to having facilitators, and actually we have a staff of 44, which is amazing.
It's incredible.
And that's and our facilitators, it's everybody in the staff, but we have 15 programs that are running constantly. 15. And there's many, there's could be 3, 4, 5 during a month. So we're always going. So it's very powerful.
Yeah. It's amazing when it runs and you don't even need to be a part of it anymore. It's taken on its own life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's got its own. Oh, of course. I mean, you can't not. It's your baby. But at the same time, you can't not
you have
sit back and marvel a little bit about how this is functioning.
Well, everybody has. It's a team. It's an amazing team, and everybody has their job. And they all come from it from a heart.
Everybody says all of the time about how it's a family. How can you share her organization? Heroes in Transition. I will add it to the bottom of it. Ashley, she is absolutely amazing. It's incredible the work that she has done over this many years. It's insane. But there's some bill of trust. When you're building a family, when you're coming in, you're talking to military people, oftentimes at their not best. And you're bringing them into these programs and telling them it's safe here, and come here, it's safe here. It's okay to open up here. You're welcome, your family, you're this. There's a lot of broken pieces that you're supporting.
And you mentioned the right word, trust.
Yeah.
When we first got started, it was to develop that trust, and we found out that veterans didn't really want to come and sit and talk.
No.
And we tried many different ways. We had different groups. We had the parent group and stuff. But it was Kristen Alexander and John who came to the house, and we asked John if he would do the veteran group, because we couldn't they wouldn't come out. We couldn't do that. And Kristen said the magic phrase, question, what about the wives? And that brought the men in, and that's when we started developing our couples program. So that trust level, our programs are basically in a hierarchy and a pyramid, where the first level is really building that trust. It's the community level. So at that community level, we have gatherings. Everything's around food too.
And I love it. It's like an axe throwing get together,
Yeah.
just like something light and fluffy.
And there's groups for couples,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's groups for just veterans, and groups for spouses. Very important to have the spouses
Of course.
together, and then families. So that develops that trust.
Yeah.
That trust developed, and it brought in our second level of relationships, how to keep relationships going, because when you come back or coming discharge and come home, there's trauma that to deal with. There are triggers, and being married, your spouse may not necessarily understand what's going on, and you just can't express it. So we did our research and found that divorces were very high in the military. So we trained 4 facilitators in something down to Florida to be trained in a PAIRS program, which is a communication program. So now we have, every fall, we have one of the co-authors come up, and he presents Dr. Claude Angel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a chaplain, a VA chaplain. His last name is Angel, which I just love. That program brings, it starts on a Saturday and ends on Sunday. We bring them to places on the Cape, and they have a nice weekend. Quietly. All our programs are free, so that it's free of charge, and then they sit and they learn different ways, different skills, different tools on how to communicate.
Yeah.
And we have testimonials where it has safe marriages. And I've talked about our family program, HIP program with the horses. And we also have a program now, we added that with equine. We have an equine warrior weekend for just veterans, and it's Friday night to Saturday morning, where the veteran basically is just with the horse, and they do different activities with the horse. They're up Saturday morning at 6, and they're up mucking. They're with their horse. They have to pick up the horse, and the thing is, I love this part, is that we take only 8.
Yeah.
That's all, and then 2 facilitators. There are 10 horses in the arena, and the men and women have to pick their own horse. And sometimes the horse doesn't accept a person.
Nobody's surprised by that. They're stubborn.
And they have to be comfortable, and that's, and that person would end up finding a horse.
Yeah.
But it's magical how that happens. That's a powerful weekend. We had one veteran who wrote in his evaluation, he said, I get more out of 3 days being here than 3 years of therapy.
Because there's something said about not having your thumb on someone, just being open and welcome and just leaving it there. It's open if you want to take this, but also the support system is there, and it's really, really important. Not even just for trauma, not even just for military. I feel like this is a good situation for anybody to be in communication with. We don't talk to each other. I had a story on Friday where Americans are speaking 3,000 less words a day, period. Because we're on devices, we're on phone. Yeah.
It's all being together. It's communicating.
Exactly. And these are the places that you're opening up for these conversations, which I just think is so important. And a lot of times when you're gone through something that is traumatic, we don't want to talk about it because it hurts. And so it's so wonderful that you have this space for that.
That the next level kind of hits what you're just saying. Our highest level is self-care.
Yeah.
And we started with we took female veterans and female spouses and put them together, and we developed a program called Reboot. And Reboot is a course. We call it literally is a course. It's a curriculum. Nicole Briggs does it.
And ladies, if you're out there watching this and you're any of my former sisters in service, please listen.
Through this, besides being together, also you learn to take care of yourself, to build that resiliency, to meditate, to calm down. It's successful, and the men came to us and said, what about us?
Oh, I love it. That's always about you.
Which is what we were hoping for. We were going to do it for men, but they came to us quicker than we thought. So they do that. Now, what we've added after that one is I had mentioned Clyde, Dr. Clyde Angel. He wrote another program, and it's published, and it's now international, and it's called Searching for Meaning. And he developed this program with Vietnam vets. He found out that he was counseling them. He's also a psychologist. That these Vietnam vets, once they retire, have a difficult time because they never dealt with their experiences, and as they retire, they have more time to think about it. So he sat with them, and he and his co-partner listened and developed a program, Searching for Meaning. And we have taken that program. He now comes up twice a year for us.
Love that.
And the program in Searching for Meaning deals with anger, deals with triggers, forgiveness, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then deals with grief. So and that is an 8-session program, and it's a powerful program.
So it's good to talk about these things, because I think when people give, they don't know what they're giving to sometimes, or they'll give because one of their friends is doing the race, or they're doing ruck, or they're doing whatever. Or, this is a nice organization. She seems like a nice lady. However, your money is going to programs. Exactly.
Absolutely.
These are the things that you are paying for.
And it brings the family together, because you can see it's all about bringing the family together.
Yeah.
And when we have we found this program. In fact, there was one veteran who had terrible experiences, was with us, received a dog, took in all our programs. It was Searching for Meaning that opened that door for her. She had gone through all kinds of therapy and everything else. That door opened, and she just blossomed so after many years. And we also have a spouse came to me last year and said, Cyndy, I need something. And we listened, and I approached Clyde and said, you do this for the veterans.
Yeah.
Can you mirror that program for the spouses?
Amazing.
So we now have a new program called Seeking the I Am. The I Am, the biblical part.
Yeah.
Moses is like, I am who I am. Because inside you have all these layers on you, and then you have to find the true self.
Yeah.
And that's what this program does, and it does mirror the.
That's wonderful. I think that the spouse is the one sometimes that is left behind, just maybe even more, because they've got to stuff it. Sometimes you got kids, and you've got this, and you've got to have this wall of those layers.
And when somebody has a trigger, or when somebody gets angry and has trauma, somebody on the other side, like a spouse receiving it, really doesn't know where it's coming from.
Right.
Is it me? What did I do? And
Yeah.
that type of thing. So Seeking the I Am helps that. Yeah. And then our last program is Firm, and that's done right over here at Cape Cod Rehab. It's a program because I got on the internet one day and did a little research and found out that there was a problem with veterans coming home, that after they are discharged, they sit at home and they don't exercise. And
Yeah. That's
awesome.
weird.
And so we have
triggering.
So we now offer a 6-week program through them that is absolutely wonderful, because it not only evaluates and helps you with certain exercises, teaches you nutrition, meditation, and then they have the pool there as well. So that's 6 weeks program, and then they give them an extra 6 weeks on their own.
Yeah.
The gym
I think that is a common thread with people that have done any sort of service, is you lack yourself. You've lost yourself in this mix of group. And it's really hard. You don't think of yourself anymore like that.
Yeah.
So
and
when
you're so physical.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
But I mean, it was never about that physical space. It was always about being with the group and surviving and making sure we as a team get to where we need to get.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm a me. I don't care about me. And it's really, really hard.
Exactly.
It's really hard to explain to a lot of people why you don't care about those self-care items. It doesn't. register to you.
And you said something very interesting, because those are the courses, this hierarchy, this top of our pyramid.
Yeah.
And it's slow in catching on. It takes a lot to come out to do the work.
Yeah, because it's
that,
work.
That's where but that's where the healing is.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're so thankful that you are bringing these programs, and I think it was really nice to sit and have a conversation about what exactly Heroes in Transition is doing here, especially since we have such a high number of returning veterans to our area of where we live. I don't know whether it's the water or the crystals or the base here, but there's a reason why we come here and we stay here, or we're connected to the Cape. And for whatever reason, we need your organization here. We just do, and we're thankful to have it.
I'm so grateful that we started it here.
How do people get involved? What if they're like, I don't even know where to start?
There's volunteers at heroesintransition.org. And somebody will get in touch with you and find out where your interests are, because we need volunteers.
Yeah, always.
Oh yeah, so
building that good volunteer program.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. Also, outgoing Citizen of the Year. I want to make mention, I'm going to wear my Mashpee Chamber of Commerce hat for a hot minute, because today is the last day for you to get your votes in. Who do you think deserves to be the next Citizen of the Year? Business of the Year, those unsung heroes we're always looking for, people doing amazing things in our community that don't get recognized. And sometimes they just need to be recognized. So I don't care how small it is that you think that this person is just amazing. Please go to our Facebook page, Mashpee Chamber of Commerce, or go to our website, mashpeechamberofcommerce.com, and just nominate someone. It takes 2 seconds. It's a Google form. So-and-so is great because they are great. It doesn't even have to get extra in there. I don't need a book-long explanation. This is not a massive nomination. I just want to make sure that the most amount of people get nominated, so that we know that these people are out there. Sometimes there are people that are unsung, and they're unsung for way too long. And I'm always looking for somebody that's just doing some amazing work in our town, so that we can support them, It's not always about the recognition. It's maybe we need to support them in the endeavor in which they've decided to be unsung.
And it's an easy process.
Yeah, right?
To write and yeah.
And just, hey, this person is amazing. And it doesn't even have to be huge.
It means a lot. I know it helped us tremendously.
It's always
not for me, but for the foundation.
It's validation sometimes of this is the work and this is why we're doing this work. I know Celine had been the one that nominated you for Mercy Otis, and not very many people. I mean, the people on that list are pretty amazing.
Oh, I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled to be.
But I mean, I love that Celine was the one that nominated you, and the things that she said about the organization, because she truly believes in it, and it's really, she's seen the magic.
She's a gift.
She'll be on the show with us coming up in just a little bit. I was an auction item at the last, I always love being an auction item at the last Heroes in Transition group that I missed, because I was at the Patriots game watching our Tom Brady lose. Listen, no, I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
We just got to watch the Pats lose again. That was the last time that I went to Nashville, was to watch Tom Brady lose. We watched him last night. He wasn't losing. He was the most entertaining part of that game.
He's very eloquent, isn't
He's so cute.
Yes, he is.
I really enjoyed most of that game, just because I just don't like Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry to our Kansas City friends. I know my girlfriend Christiana is probably like, Stephanie, seriously? She's definitely asleep right now, because she's had to live through that misery last night. Everyone was complaining about the Super Bowl halftime show. Like it or hate it, that's what it was. That's what was chosen. I think that we all wanted to have a little more pomp and circumstance and fanfare, but he had some great messages, and he definitely took up that rap battle with Drake right back up. If you follow any of that, it was noise. It was a loud noise. I'll just leave it at that. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars coach, did you see that he rolled up with his $360 million yacht?
No.
And parked it at the Super Bowl? I think New Orleans needed a little party before the big party that they've got coming up. That place, I don't even know how it survives this many people. But they're one of those positive people. We talk about it all the time. It's all about attitude, right? It's
It
all
is.
about how you handle things, trauma, drama,
How you go through life.
right? And
Yeah.
one of my favorite little memes of when the South got cold and New Orleans had snow before all of this, and someone was just cross country skiing and on the back of him playing a bugle, and somebody else was having a good time. Like it's that attitude.
It is.
It
And that's
doesn't
the
matter what you throw at me.
And that's the attitude that gets you through life. To appreciate life, to see it in that light, it's beautiful.
It truly
No matter
is.
what. And I think I've lived long enough to realize that when something hard happens and something that seems to be so traumatic, at the end, you'll see a positive in it. There's a positive. God has a reason for it. Our hardships can produce good things.
I love it. Ashley said she found your website, listed a campaign for support on TikTok. Oh, the wonders of the internet. We're so thankful for you, Ashley. We appreciate it. And anyone watching today, we really appreciate you. I'm going to drop a link in the chat where you can get yourself involved in Heroes in Transition. It doesn't always have to be a monetary donation. Volunteers are always welcome. Hours, manpower, thoughts and ideas, always welcome.
Runners.
Yeah, right? Team Haphazard over here needs a runner. I think we might have gotten somebody. I mean, this is how wonderful this organization is. I dragged Rob from Shipwreck to start his team. Started his team.
Beautiful.
But I was complaining about it. I do trivia over there on Tuesdays. By the way, we're starting a 6-week run for the best. We're adding this great big campaign. So all of your points stack up for trivia, and the winner gets an overnight stay at Margaritaville, a little money on their tab, a little bit of their water park. So definitely join us if you like trivia on Tuesdays over at Shipwrecked. But I said to Rob, I need a teammate. And all of a sudden I start trivia and he goes, this is the guy, Kevin. He wants to run on your team. He's a Mass Maritime cadet. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, we need youth. We need youthful legs on my team. We will take him.
Beautiful.
I know. So we're hoping that.
And there's a polar plunge too coming up.
Yes, there is happening over at Shipwrecked, and that is coming up this weekend. So yeah, and of course now it's really cold. Like I did the one that we did for Kiwanis and Mashpee.
Yeah.
It hadn't quite gotten that cold yet. Now, I don't know. I think you got to be. If you like cold plunges and you feel like it's all therapeutic and whatnot, come on down. We're raising money. They were smart. Even Maddie did a Super Bowl pool to raise money for their team.
Really? Oh, wonderful. Wow.
Each team in Heroes in Transition comes up with very fun, creative ways in which to raise money for their teams. My team, we're going the lazy route. We're heading on over to Knockabout. Thank you very much to Knockabout for hosting us over there. March 9th is our team fundraiser. So swing through, buy some Heroes gear, have a beer for charity. It's the easiest way to donate to us. Just have a beer or a seltzer.
Thank you.
Right?
That's so wonderful, right?
So many wonderful ways to
Amazing.
connect. We'll be talking to a lot more Ruck for Hip members as the weeks continue. And I will be talking a little bit more about Heroes in Transition. But I thought it would be nice to start this season by having a conversation with you about the organization. All right, everybody, we will be on the show tomorrow. Hank will join me in the studio back at home. We got a full week of shows for you. Marie Younger is joining us on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll be back here at Mashpee TV. If you want to do a show or you've got something important in our community that people need to know about, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me, stephanie@stephanieviva.com, or find us here at lemonadio.com. Download the app. Alexa, play Lemonadio Radio, or you can just find it online. We appreciate you. Also, thank you. We would be nothing without Mashpee TV and our friends here. Chris Ball is amazing, and all of the programming that they do here. Channel 1072 in HD. And if you don't have it, call 1-800-COMCAST and get a new box. That's the problem there. 1072 Mashpee TV. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
You escaped. That was great.
You go
Thank
far.
you. Huh?